everyone, and welcome to episode number 3 of the Button Smash Podcast.
Pew, 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 pew.
That's not a smashing sound.
Well,
It's a pew pew.
Yeah,
we got lasers. Didn't you see our new intro graphic? Lasers.
lasers.
Yeah, everyone listening at home to the audio
lasers.
podcast. Did you see the lasers?
Well, they can see it in their minds, you know. That's why I did the noise.
Hey,
Guys,
you don't know
I
what some
felt-
people do behind closed doors.
I felt the lasers.
Also, what kind of lasers were those? Was that like the gummy ship from Kingdom Hearts 1? Like, what,
Yeah.
what do you got going on here?
Exactly what I'm
Pew!
going for.
Reference, video game related. We did it. We nailed it. Hello, everyone in here, out there, watching live on twitch.tv/WeAreRogueMatter. As Button Smash is a podcast part of the Rogue Matter Network. Listening everywhere you listen to a podcast. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the latest news and events that have been happening through the week. We'll be talking about CyberPunk 2077, Xbox Series X, woo, tongue twister. And if there's some time, we'll catch up and see what the Smash Pack here has been playing this week. But first, let's see who's joining us on this beautiful gravy train with biscuit wheels. You know him, you love him, the Booster Greg.
Wake the samurai.
He's chipping in. You know him, you love him for his beard, Jay's Mac.
Oh man, I just shaved it yesterday too. What the hell?
Man who didn't shave, we love him. Could be either one. Dot Chris.
Pew pew. Wasn't mine more charming than Casey?
100 times more charming
Yes,
than Casey.
yes.
So much more charming. It's alarming how charming it was. Speaking of charming, me, I'm your host, Sergio, the Bat Coyote. I
And
tricked
definitely
him.
no one else is here.
We did a thing. We did it. All right, time to get. Oh, what's that over there? Oh, it's a wonderful ray of sunshine. Who is that? Is that TV's Casey?
It sure is. I'm also on this show.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody, to the Tiny, the Toony, All Little Loony Button Smash podcast. Let's go. That wasn't video game related. Anyways, guys,
Jesus Christ.
a game
Yes.
I know I've been looking forward to, and a lot of people looking forward to. CyberPunk 2077 had their second episode of Night City. A kind of showcase of the new game. New features, new vistas, new game mechanics, everything they can possibly tease us with CyberPunk 2077, the RPG coming out from CD Projekt Red. You know them from stuff like The Witcher, And in that presentation, they showed us, did they show us some stuff. I cannot wait for what they have in store for us on day one. And one of those things are life paths, different choices you can make in the beginning of the game to see where you're going to go. Are you going to be a nomad? Are you going to be a street kid or a corpo? Boo-wee.
I mean, how could you pick anything but a street kid? You know, you're out there, you're like, "Hi, governor, I'm here for some noodles and other things in this dystopian nightmare in which we live."
Noodles? That's what you...
Well, noodles, you know,
That is the food of the future,
it
according
is.
to
It's
Blade Runner.
According to Blade Runner,
Yeah.
according to...
Greg got it.
yeah, Cowboy
Yep.
Bebop, The Fifth Element.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Noodles.
I love
So many
noodles.
things.
Dude, those
Noodles.
just pack noodles though, you just pull the string and they're done. Oh, I want that.
Oh,
to be a
man.
thing.
Right? That instant? Yeah, we just pull it open and it's... Oh, my God. Somebody make that, please. But, yeah, so we got 3 live choices to start off the Cyberpunk 2070 game in. So you have a nomad who's out in the Badlands surrounding the main Night City. You're kind of a nomad, kind of speaks for itself. You're a band, you're a family. I think they said you're a clan family or something like that. You may or may not have left them. You go on your own path, and you have to try to find a way into Night City. And then Street Kid, you grew up in the streets. You know the gangs, you know the clans, you know the groups. You know how to get around the city, and you know the deep underbelly of it all. Kind of like the lower level of Coruscant. And the Corpo, making your way up the corporate ladder. Stuff they're in. I think
You could be a capitalist sellout in this dystopian nightmare.
I was gonna say I thought like Corpo looked the most stylish. It had like their own kind of Presidium from Mass Effect look, where you have like these expensive looking cars. This weird corporate like janky side where you gotta like do different kinds of back deals to get yourself above everybody else. You kind of have to get your hands dirty. Which life path kind of appealed to you guys?
I'm gonna go with Casey on this one. I'm going street rat.
you gotta go
Street kid.
Street rat.
I'm going the Aladdin.
I
route
don't
in this.
buy
This
that.
guy's watching Disney
Specifically.
Plus over here.
Oh wait, that's not video games. We can't talk about that either. Ooh. I was looking at all of them and I was like, I don't like between the outsider and the street kid, like that's a tough choice. But I think when I'm envisioning this game, I don't envision the Mad Mac aspect or the aesthetic that the outsider has, but more of like the Blade Runner kind of side of it, which what I think the street kid has. Corpo is like, I feel for me, that's one of those paths where like I'm bored and I'm doing a fresh new like game. I'm like, let's just see what this is about. And
It's
that's
like,
it.
yeah, it's like playing for the bad guys in Fallout 4. It's like, oh, everything's cool and clean and shiny in this future, and it's exactly everything I don't want in this game.
Yeah. It reminded me, like the character they showed a lot of reminded me of Reese from Tales from the Borderlands or Borderlands 3.
Oh,
Yes!
It just had that aesthetic, and I was like, what? So I could play as Mad Max, I don't know, Aladdin, or Reese. Okay, let's see.
Do you think you can play the stock market? Like that's just the only thing you do if you're corpo?
Imagine just
you're
screens
just
everywhere and just stock market.
Exactly.
It's all just like stock market, blockchaining, and all these.
It's basically just it becomes a slot machine.
Yeah.
And then you get mad, and then you have to choose one of the other characters that
just
you actually
day
want to shoot
trading
someone in
every
the
day.
face. Day trading.
I do like
Short sale.
the juxtaposition of all of them because it looks like everyone probably hates Corpo. You know,
yeah.
like they're just like, oh, you people up top there in the 1% of society, and your bright and shiny new things. We're all down here with the scraps in the yard. You know what I mean? But I do like the Mad Max aspect of the game out in the Badlands, and oh man, the graphics in Cyberpunk 27 look insane. Like just them showing you like the cars kicking up dust, like all the rust on them, looking all kind of like lived in Star Wars like future, but cyberpunky. I love that look. That is
There's so much detail. Like I think that overall, it's not the like the photorealistic stuff that we see, but there's so much happening on screen in so many freaking colors that are in your face. It's great.
Yeah.
Who do you think would pick, like, who's the type of person that would pick Corpo, though, right? Like, that's the type of person that you, like,
Dr.
you gotta
Disrespect.
stop. You think so? Like, you can't be friends with him, right? Like,
I would probably pick Corpo.
really?
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm also on the side playing an RPG, Vampire the Masquerade, with friends of mine, basically Dungeons and Dragons, but it's current day and you're vampires. And I decided I was going to be an executive vampire.
Executive
so I'm a vampire
vampire
lawyer, and I'm having so much fun just being a total tool bag. And it's great.
It feels good to be bad.
It feels good to just be like you just got to lean into it. Like people, there's people on the streets that are doing all the down and dirty stuff, and you just be like, "Yep, I'm living up here, and I'm gonna make you do something."
And
I mean,
sorry,
I see Corpo as being the people who are the first ones who suggest the purge would start. You know what I mean? Like, those are the first ones who are like, "Yeah, no, this is a good idea." Like
they run it through a PR firm.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what would be great right now? A purge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone hit the purge button, please. Thank you.
I can see them doing that too. Like some corporal person like kind of likes the street tacos at this hover truck, whatever. But they have to wait in line and they have to like bump elbows with these dirty people. They have their brand new threads. They're just like, we need to thin out this population.
Let's
we need a purge.
Let's focus group this one. We're gonna workshop a little bit. We're gonna send it up top, see what they come down with, and see how it's received. I would love that. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do in this game. Is I just want to run focus groups.
I agree with Lord Zat in the live Twitch chat here. I'll play Corpo to bring it down from the top. Yes, bring it down from the inside. I like that.
Cyberpunk 2077 on their Twitter feed, on the Twitter page, whatever, they did put out a poll asking like, who are you gonna play as? And it's actually pretty neck and neck. It's not as lopsided as I thought it would be.
What?
So Street Kid is currently winning with 37.8%.
Whoa.
Next is Nomad with a 33.1%. And Corpo is sitting there fairly strong, still kind of in the running at 29.1%. So it's like they're both like, I thought for sure it would be mostly either Street Kid or Nomad.
Yeah.
Was when I took this poll, it was Nomad actually winning by quite a bit. And now there's 2 days left in it. There's 150,000 plus votes on it. And it's pretty close. So like, if you want to like pick a story, like, especially like, Serge and I, like we stream on a fairly consistent basis. So I'm like, I want to do the one that no one's really playing. That's not possible because it's almost a tie. So you just got to really kind of look inward and see. Are you a corporate tool bag? Then
Deep
yes.
within yourself, find the 80s businessman within you.
Remember, guys, greed is good.
Yeah, it's funny too
Those
because
are rookie numbers.
it's funny too because Jay, I was watching Dr. Disrespect in the live presentation of this, and he was like, "Oh, easy choice, like Corpo." And I'm like, interesting, really. I mean, it kind of fits with his vibe, I guess, because like he has that whole persona of like, oh, I have like like the highest priced Lamborghini, I have the highest price like Ivory Tower, I have a stadium, all this sort of stuff. So I was like, interesting. Maybe that's the corporal lifestyle. Like you're actually this like schmuck who worked your way up the ladder. I mean, even in the presentation, they said you worked your way up the corporate ladder. So like you weren't. It sounds like you weren't born into this. You were just like maybe you were a street kid. Maybe you were a nomad who became a street kid. Because you have to find. Oh, it's all coming together. Okay, because the presentation,
the deepest lore.
Insert Charlie Day like red. Okay, are you? Okay, all right. Stay with me here. You're a nomad. In the presentation, they said the nomads have to find their way into Night City. When you get into Night City, you're technically a street kid. You're a street kid. You work your way up to the corporate ladder, and you become a corp. We all become corpos. Oh my god, this is so deep. So deep. We all become corpos in the end.
So if you choose the other two, in the end you're corpo, and if you start off corpo, by the end you're a nomad.
Ooh.
Also, if you play corpo and you're trying to, and like this is gonna obviously turn into like role play servers, things like that. If there isn't a daily basis of someone doing the Alec Baldwin speech from Glengarry Glen Ross, I'm gonna be very upset.
I was
Put
going to say
the controller down. Controllers are closed.
Alec Baldwin quotes from 30 Rock where it's like, it's after 5. What am I, a farmer?
I love that. I love that. Him wearing his suit all the time. Oh, it's so great.
Be Jack Donaghy as a corpo.
Yeah.
Again,
or
hella fun.
Or Robert California.
Yes.
from The Office. So good.
I'm the fucking lizard.
I'm really like, you don't even know my real name. I'm the fucking Lizard King.
There's no such thing as a product. There's only sex.
So yes, I love that. I love that. Right, Jim? You don't seem like a guy who would be talked over, right? You can speak now. Yes. See, that was your choice. Oh man, but yeah, like Chris, I wonder if that's a thing. You start off as a corpo, and depending on your choices in the game, you end up as either a nomad. You have to like be outcast for some reason, and then you have to like become like this band of like misfits or whatever, or you mess up somehow and you become a street kid. You're just on the street and they're coming after you.
Corporate espionage, man.
Yeah,
you got to take down. You're put in place. Someone's like, "Hey, we need some info."
Yeah,
and then shit goes south.
Yeah. Another thing they highlighted was Samurai, the band headed by Johnny Silverhand, who Keanu Reeves plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So that part was a little interesting. I've actually, after watching that, I have done nothing but listen to Samurai on Spotify. They have like 3 or 4 songs on there. Mm-hmm. It actually makes Rogue Company a lot of a better experience. Not that it's a bad experience, but like I was like, yeah, I am Johnny Silverhand. This is great. Yeah, so they I can actually pull this up. I forget the name of the band, but they got the lead singer of an already existing band to thank you. Refused to kind of voice it. And what I found very interesting is the level of detail in which they put this poor bastard through, because he has a bit of an accent. So he's sitting there doing his like typical metal kind of screaming kind of thing, and they brought in this like, I don't know, like a voice director or something, and the guy's just like less accent, less accent.
Dude, when I saw that part of the video, I was like, yikes. But I get it. They're going for a certain look. Like Johnny Silverhand has to fit within this type of thing, and I love how the singer was like, it was kind of hard, but like as a musician, like we try to work our hardest to make this great, because I don't understand the scope of this game right now, but I think once it's released, you will. You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, you will.
Also, I don't know how I feel about Johnny being the lead singer of the band. It seems a little too on the nose. I always thought he would be just like the guitarist. That's like the Axl Rose, if you will. That's just like everyone knows he's the real star. He knows it, but he doesn't need to be up front.
That you said he's not the singer, he's the guitarist, and then immediately pointed out the singer of Guns N' Roses.
I mean,
I believe you meant Slash.
I meant Slash. Damn it. Okay. Slash.
When you do things live.
Get this man a top hat.
Thank you. But yeah, so like you look at Slash, right? And like you're like, oh, you're the real star. Axl Rose is just kind of the prima donna. But I don't know how I feel about having a Keanu Reeves looking character voiced by Keanu Reeves singing. It's not Keanu Reeves, although I don't think I want to hear Keanu Reeves sing.
Wild Stallions, please.
But did he sing in Wild Stallions, or was he backing
tried.
vocals?
They both kind of just
He tried.
They both just kind of yelled at a microphone a little bit.
Fair.
He did his best.
Fair.
He
I know
did
this
his
recently
best,
watched them.
Keanu.
He did his best.
Keanu did his best.
I'm just gonna trust the game in the direction and just like try to get over that little hump.
Have you ever tried to play guitar with a metal hand? It's not very easy.
Not easy.
you just get, I don't know. Actually, it might be easier if it's the strum in hand. You won't need a pick.
Oh man.
Just
Oh, you can like put a blender attachment and just stick
Maybe
the
you
pick
got
on there.
that. Maybe you got a
Oh!
little,
If
little
you had a
equipment.
good
Did he get some
auto
bucket head
mail
going on?
engineer,
Saying the future is now.
Yeah.
We can have robot hand guitars.
I do love how CD Projekt Red just goes in on everything, even like making up this fake band in the universe with an actual real band who's like weathered and like and they know how to make music, but like making it towards okay, here's what we want for the cyberpunk universe, and then them kind of adhering to that. Like they're just going so in on every single aspect of this game, and RPGs are my jam. I can't wait to play this game. And another thing that really whets my appetite to play this game are the tools of destruction. Tools of destruction. So Tools of Destruction is just a little showcase of the types of weapons you're going to have in Cyberpunk 2077. Never get tired of saying that name. And I love the aesthetics of these weapons because they're futuristic, but not too futuristic, where you can't see like, oh, that's a shotgun, that's like a light machine gun, or that's an SMG. And a lot of them are really, really cool and have some kind of Fifth Element kind of funk to them, like like the bullets that bank around corners and like retrace your steps.
Yeah.
Like you got your samurai sword. We see the lead character in this like weapons locker room in his apartment. I'm like, yo, this looks sick. Outfit yourself. Like you have some things like tech weapons, which have the power to punch through certain walls and can see characters beyond borders. You have your regular like shotgun, like sniper rifle, but they all have like their own like funky twist to them, and they look really cool. Like the animations look really sick.
Did you see the guy named Lars who was like explaining all these weapons? Like at the end, he's like smiling, all super creepy. He's like, you could cut down an entire room of people with this shotgun, and he's just so happy to. I'm like, this guy's
killing a room
scary.
full of people has never been easier. With that grin on his face.
That's exactly what he said.
It's like that kid in every high school.
bit.
It's exactly the kind of person that you want designing guns in
Yes,
video games.
exactly. Someone's just like, "What? We're get Lars, that crazy guy. Ooh, designing weapons. Let's go." And you're like, "Oh,
We're gonna
okay."
put you in the basement office, away from everybody else.
Just give him his own water cooler and
It's fine.
a
It's fine.
window. Oh man. So, what you guys think of the Tools of Destruction?
I thought they all look really like great, and I want to play all of them, but I'm wondering what's stopping people from going for the homing bullets specifically. Because if you have one that you can do like wanted like bullet curving essentially, why would you choose that gun over one that just literally locks onto your opponent?
I feel like it'd be more satisfying to play and like be able to shoot somebody as they're running instead of like the whole like
maybe it does little baby damage, like in Cuphead,
that's what I'm thinking.
The homing weapon.
Yeah, or like in Borderlands, that does little baby damage too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's something satisfying about lining somebody up in a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I get it. But like, if this game becomes a bit of a challenge, what's going to stop someone from like breaking that immersion and just pulling out that easy mode gun, so to speak?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming there is some balancing. But like you're looking at it and like, yeah, this just cuts everyone down all the time, and all the guns are just destroying everyone, which is part of why they're showing that to us. Like, hey, look, this is destruction. This is cool, right? But at the same time, it's like, but like, is there going to be a challenge to this game? I'm just going to be walking through for the story. Like, what is the balance here? Like, I'm going shoddy all the way. If they have a shoddy that shoots through cover, I'm getting that. I don't need you don't need
Gears
to
of War shotgun.
You don't need to like go around the cover if you can just go through cover.
If I can't turn my enemies into a fine pink mist, what's the point?
What's the point?
Like the auger from Resistance, where you just shoot through a wall. It just shows you
Yeah.
on the other side. It's great.
Yeah.
So I have a question about this though, right? So we're getting these series of episodes, and we've got a number of delays for the game. Are these episodes out because the game has been delayed, or is the game being delayed because these episodes and this PR press tour thing that's giving us so much is coming out? You know what I mean?
I think that's a good question. I think these episodes are out because it's delayed. And
Okay.
and they're giving us something to work through. They're like, we do have a game. It is working. There are mechanics in it. Here it is. As opposed to some other game companies where it's just like, oh, our game is delayed. More info coming up later. And you're like, okay, well, I'm totally going to forget about this game and there's not going to be any buzz about it. Here, like, there's buzz about this game, like, constantly because they keep doing stuff like this. And they're like, well, wait till our next presentation of Night City. And you're like, what the hell are they going to show us next? Like, this is pretty neat.
And I mean, they're doing a really good job as like keeping, like, my personal opinion, like they're keeping me like definitely hooked into it. But I'm like wondering, like, are they spending too much time and like just not pushing it out, or do they just set the date and say, okay, screw it, this is when it's coming out in November, push out this content, make it happen to fill in the gap? Because it was supposed to come out in like 3 weeks from now originally, not originally, but like the last time they had
the last iteration.
But
They,
I was say, I think it's a response to just how studios are engaging with people during COVID, because like think of like the Avengers team is doing their thing. We've seen Nintendo, I feel like, has had what three or four directs in this time as well. Like we're just seeing a lot more little peaks of games. And especially after like the Avengers one, they probably watched that and went like, oh yeah, we can do this but way better.
Well, they started doing this before Avengers. I credit Avengers to like copying Cyberpunk for sure.
There you go.
Yeah, like I think honestly too, a lot of this content was going to be shown at E3 to like press and people like who were waiting, and I think they're just like watering it down essentially, because there's no way that in any other format would we get a 5 to 10 minutes of the music. Like there's no way that would be like a footnote. Like, oh, by the way, we got this band, this front man for this band, awesome. But they like really went into it, and the same thing here is like they're going into some of the weapons, but not all of them. So we just know they're going to start like sprinkling that as we get further. But like if you look at the good, not the good, I don't want to say good, but I'm going to say good, the good content that we have about the gameplay, about what this game is about, and you boil that down to its essentials, you have probably a 30-minute to an hour just presentation.
True.
It's a good way of looking at it. And I think because of COVID, like this all kind of strangely worked out, because, if we did have just that one presentation that had all of this content in it, like all these different like presentations in this Night City, I don't think the buzz would have kept the like whetting our appetites the way it has, as opposed to right now they're keep on like, okay, well this week we'll have this, next week or maybe a week from now or 2 weeks from now we'll have this, and I'm like and you're constantly looking forward to the next presentation, so it kind of works out in a way. But cannot wait for this game. I love RPGs. They're my jam, and everything I'm seeing about this game, it looks really good. Like, I love all the explanations behind, the little peek behind the scenes on what's going on in creating the game.
Yeah.
Moving on. Xbox Series X news. So we did find out they did finally announce that they are launching in November.
Yeah.
Guys, we have a month. A month window that they've told us about. PlayStation 5? I don't think we've gotten a date for that, have you? We just still holiday season, right?
Yeah.
Not bad. What else did they talk about?
They talked about quite a bit, right? And if you go over to their website, they actually have a whole bunch of interesting facts that are on there. So they're saying that there are going to be more than 50 new games planned for this year across the different generations. So we're going to assume Xbox One and Xbox Series X, and will be optimized for the Series X. Well, I wonder what the shortening of Xbox Series X is going to be.
XS
is going to be
X tricky. XS tricky.
Anyways, so we're going to have, obviously we know about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Dirt 5, Gears Tactics, Yakuza, Like a Dragon, and Watch Dogs Legion. And they have this thing now that's called Smart Delivery. So essentially, it's just like forwards compatibility and backwards compatibility. So you buy one copy of the game, it'll work on your Xbox One, it'll work on your Xbox Series X, which is interesting. And also makes me afraid for what evil plan they have hatched next, because that seems unlike Microsoft in generosity, or any like game studio or developer or anyone. Like, it's just like, if you buy an older version of the game, you have to buy the newer version of the game, with some exceptions of the remasters. BioShock is one of those off the top of my head. Yep. But it's just very interesting. They also again kind of are pushing their Xbox Game Pass, and there's going to be exclusives like my favorite, The Medium, which I cannot wait to play.
Scorn, so good.
Scorn, yeah. Surge's favorite, Tetris Effect Connected. And a whole bunch of others.
So I'm thinking that, like, in modern gaming, a lot of the ways that we get our games is by download now, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're already talking about you don't have a physical piece of media that you're going to be holding on to, and one of the big things that Xbox has been pumping hard with Series X is that backward compatibility, and they've actually been pumping that a lot with things like Game Pass. That you can play older games. Like, why wouldn't you put that on front and center, being like, hey, if you buy it on one platform, you'll have an optimized version for kind of the best of whatever platform you're playing it on. Because I think we've already talked a bit more about how they're really pushing the Game Pass thing more than they are the hardware.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's different from the last console launch. So I think I like it. Don't get me wrong. I think it shows growth as an industry, right? No longer is it price, or is it wallet gouging through multiple copies of the same game, rather just downloadable content, microtransactions, and subscription services. But at least one thing's out of the mix in that. But I just found that very intriguing, and I'm very, very curious. I'm even more curious now what's going to happen with the Series X if/when it doesn't do the numbers they want it to.
Yeah. I'm interested in seeing that too, especially like you said, them pushing the Game Pass, which a lot of the stuff like can benefit us like PC game players, because everything I'm watching for Xbox, I'm like, okay, I could play all that on PC. Right. And they're pushing, I'm seeing more of that content, the Game Pass stuff, and what I can play aside from the Xbox. It's weird, like their marketing for this console hasn't been that great, and there's a lot of secrecy behind it. I mean, we already know this November date, apparently, because there has been some stuff sent out into the world, like a controller that had a sticker on it that said "Don't sell by this date," and it was November, and that's how people like find out this November date for the Xbox Series X. Yeah.
Break.
It's so weird. It's like, don't sell by this date. It's like, oh, okay, so it's releasing by that. And someone was able to purchase a controller that said it was compatible with the Xbox Series S and like Windows and stuff like that, whatever. And like they were showing it in photos and they made a video of it and stuff like that. So we were like, oh, okay. And it had a warranty, like a 1-year warranty starting in this November. And I was like, interesting. Why is Xbox being so weird about their stupid console? Why are you being so weird?
It's I think they know it's going to fail, and they're going to transition to a subscription-based service, and they're going to make dollars and dollars and thousands of donuts just off of that, because it's a good deal. You pay what?
Yeah.
$10 a month, if that, and you get access to the newest games.
That's like, where they really should just kind of,
yeah, they should.
Yeah.
Just fold and just do it. I feel like if this fails, we might see a better interface for PC games in the Xbox PC realm, right? You know how you can kind of like pick that up. I know Minecraft Dungeons, you have to launch that in order to play the game. So you're playing it through Xbox, but it's not really, I don't have an Xbox. So I'm confused, but yeah, like I feel like they're going to work on the PC side of, or they're going to launch their own version of Steam or whatever too, right? And,
well, they kind of already have, like there is Game Pass for PC, and I subscribed to that for a little bit, and it was great. There were so many games I was like, I think I'll buy this, and it's like, oh, you have it on here. Oh, I guess I won't buy it then. Right. Because when you're talking about digital content, like the reason why you would buy physical content, as at least GameStop will tell you this, is to trade it in later, get some money, and maybe knock a couple bucks off of what you're going to get next time. Now and almost forever with digital content, that's pretty hit or miss. You have a small window to return it, but you can't really trade it in necessarily. I remember they tried testing that out. Maybe it was Xbox that did that. I don't remember. A very long time ago, and it just didn't work. No one did it because you got so little, and it was like whatever. So I'm wondering if this might also be Microsoft's way to try to like inch GameStop out of the picture once and for all with this subscription
Part of me wants
service.
to imagine you trying to sell a system that's got a bunch of digital stuff on it, and it's like you just go up to the counter and it's like, yo, here's my Nintendo Switch. It's got like 12 games that are already on it, and they just look at you and go, I don't care.
$11.50
Factory reset.
I'm gonna factory reset it, and I couldn't give two shits, buddy.
Yeah, yeah.
It makes you think about I know with PlayStation, right? PlayStation 4 was built with a lot of forward thinking in it, and thinking about the way that Xbox One probably was built was very similar, because you have a lot of stuff that works on Xbox One and the similar games work on just on PC, meaning that the games themselves are built so that they should be fairly easy to develop between those two systems. So the fact that we're at a point where the consoles already need to look a bit more open, in I guess inclusive as far as playing games, maybe puts it in a better step, or easier to step up to the next thing, which may the next generation of console, which maybe there's a lot of like the foundation of that is going to be very similar to the previous generation, but with much higher end hardware, so that like maybe under the hood, way down, a lot of the coding is the same as you saw in PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but just now there's hardware that can keep up with what the software has been capable of up until this point. Just something to think about.
Yeah. And and I love how with this new generation of gaming, so since we have this current gen, right, we have the PS4, we have the current Xbox and stuff like that, but there are certain game companies who are like, okay, if you bought our game right now, you can upgrade to the next version of it when it comes out on the next gen devices, like PS4, the PS5, Xbox Series S, stuff like that. But not every game is doing that. Did you hear the thing about Control?
No.
So the Control Ultimate Edition.
More like the Control Alt Delete.
Oh, got him. Yeah. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Some people might delete it. So apparently, the Ultimate Edition is coming out for Control, right? And what they're doing is it's supposed to be this like not remaster, but like basically like a bump and upgrade of like graphics and technology and stuff like that. So if you have Control right now, if you have the DLC, if you have all that stuff, cool. But if you want it on the next gen graphics on the PS5, on the new Xbox Series S, you have to pay $40 to upgrade.
No, I'm good. I just have it on PC. So
yeah, they're apparently not like I love how all these games like CyberPunk is doing it. You bought it, Ghost of Tsushima is doing it. It's like, oh, you have it now. Hey, when you get the PS5, upgrade for free. Cool.
Well, so like to be fair though, to play devil's advocate on this, Ghost of Tsushima is by Sucker Punch, which is like owned, I think, by PlayStation. If not, they're a PlayStation exclusive dev anyways.
Yeah.
So Sony was probably like, you're fucking doing this, whether you like it or not. And they're just like, all right, we put out 2 games this generation, 2.5 games this generation. Fine, I guess, if you can continue to give us money. Remedy has always been very, I don't know, like hit or miss with, I want to say success, because every game they put out, well, not every other game they put out, everyone really likes. Like I really like Control. I like Alan Wake. That seems to be like what everyone's train of thought is. Quantum Break, not so much. It was fine, but it was kind of gimmicky, and then that we kind of faded away, right?
Now you're not playing with portals?
Yeah. And like they had those 30-minute cutscenes in between, which was a cool idea at the time, and it's great for a first run through. But after that, you're like, I don't want to do this again. It was a cool experience, but that's it. So like they probably need the money. They're probably just like panhandling on the street, just like, just give me, please, just like, it looks better, please, just $40. And the same with like Cyberpunk, like they're extremely successful dev, CD Projekt Red. So like I can believe that I spaced on that for a minute, but like they put out the Witcher series, you know, the Gwent is doing very good for them. Like it's still a conversation. And when did Witcher 3 come out?
Oh man,
like I think it was
2014.
Yeah, like beginning of PS4. Like it's still
it's
a relevant game. Yeah, it's still, it's amazing. So like they're still making money off of that, so they can do this without it affecting their bottom line that much. Remedy is not in that position. They are not a console exclusive dev anymore. They were with Microsoft, and then they broke out of that. So, and that was with Control. They broke out of that. I remember seeing that E3. That was a very big deal. But so they're probably just like regretting it now, I think.
Growing pains.
Yep.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's a really good way of looking at it too, because it's got some people in an uproar. But when you look at it like that, it's like, okay, I can see why they'll bump it up, because they do, like, they're a house that does need that money.
Yeah.
You know
And all
what I
that being said, I do think it is a really shitty like thing that they're doing. They probably shouldn't do that. But if
Yeah.
they need it. Like $40 a steep, 30,
Mhm.
or like do a thing where if you own it on one console, drop it down even more, like $20, 25. That's reasonable, I think.
Prorate it.
Yeah.
40.
Because there are people who I've seen voice that they really do like this game. They like the features. I mean, like Greg, you seem to have a lot of fun on your streams and your channel.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Playing this game, and especially that there's so many like different kinds of particle effects and things that would really lend to like, I wonder how this would look on the PlayStation 5. How would this look on the next gen? Like Xbox Series S, whatever they're calling it. I mean, and everyone on PC is like, oh yeah, sweet.
Yeah. Yes, we already have ray tracing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I already have RTX effing on. But yeah, and especially in the wave of like EA, Ubisoft, CD Projekt Red, Bethesda, all committing to, you're gonna have our games for free, upgrade on the next gen. And here's like Remedy, they're just like, kind of have to pay for ours.
Money, please,
Money,
as the
please.
lights flicker behind them.
Right?
They can't pay the electric bill.
Man, it opens up a new way for gamers to be like, well, all these other studios giving it out for free, a free upgrade. Oh, what are you guys doing, huh? Like now it's like our gamers going to start demanding games kind of upgrade for free.
But
It's
like
well,
that's no different, because like when you look at what has happened over the past generation, you have Xbox and PlayStation giving free games monthly, and the gamers are so spoiled. I'm including myself in this statement. We are so spoiled that they give us a free game and we go, we don't want NBA 2K whatever. The game is absolute garbage. It's free. Who cares? It's like, no, I'm entitled. You're entitled to nothing. You pay for a yearly service that gives you access to the servers so you can play online with your friends. That's why you're paying that money.
Yeah.
They're giving you the games. Like, it's just extra. They don't have to do that. Microsoft didn't do that when they first started this whole like paying to pay online thing. So I don't know. It's just kind of funny. And the same thing kind of happens. Like I noticed myself doing it when Epic is like, oh, here are the free games. And sometimes they're not the best. And I'm just like, that's crap. I waited all this time for this. And then it's like, oh, it's free. Who cares? Just redeem it to your account. I'm never going to play it.
It's free garbage. Don't you want it? It's free.
But it's free garbage that takes up literal no space.
Yeah. I do like that aspect of like, you just go to the Epic store, you just claim it, and it's in your account from whenever you want to download it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I literally did that for the Grand Theft Auto, like that day. It's like, oh, Grand Theft Auto 5's available. I'm like, oh, let me just claim it in case I want to play it. Oh man, but it's incredible to see like what's happening with games this year. Like the snafu, well, I don't want to call it snafu. Like Halo Infinite being.
I was gonna say, let's talk about a game that's not coming out this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Halo Infinite being delayed until 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think anyone's really surprised about this. And also, who cares? A brand new Halo game's delayed. Oh no! Like,
no.
I mean, I know like maybe one or two hardcore Halo fans who've bought every single Halo, every single iteration, and since the beginning of time, and they still play it, they still love it, and I'm like, congrats to you. I guess it comes off the back of that demo they recently played, that 8-minute demo of the campaign where textures weren't popping right, things looked kind of undercooked, and I guess the company's like, well, I guess we need some more time for development to work on this a bit further. It's not quite ready yet. This is supposed to be a launch title for the new Xbox, but it's not going to be. Sorry.
You know what this was? This was the equivalent of the kid who like didn't do his project the night before, it was due. He gets to class and he just like presents like something, and the teacher's like, do you really want some more time? Like, I'll give you more time. Or again, do you want to do that? And the kid's like, yeah, I'm so sorry.
And I agree with Stealth here in the live chat. I was only getting Xbox for Halo. Now I don't need to buy one. Oof. And if he's thinking like that, how many people are thinking that too? You know what I mean? Because this was an Xbox. I don't think did they say anything about this being on PC or was this like Xbox exclusive?
They didn't say anything about PC yet, but I imagine it would be because if they don't put that on their Game Pass, that's just a big mistake.
Oh, huge.
That's easy money right there.
Yeah.
So
it's just it's crazy that it's like I wonder what's happening behind the scenes, right? So they give us this 8-minute demo. Looks neat. We talked about it in a previous episode. Listen to that. It looked like Halo. It didn't look that great. It didn't really give us anything to say, wow, I really need this game. You got more open world.
60 frames though.
60 frames. There you go. It looks like Halo. Nothing really wrong. So I wonder if they're also working on, okay, we need more stuff. People weren't excited for this. Like, we kind of released this demo and people weren't like, whoa, this blew my mind. Like, I don't know, man.
Listen, the only reason I wasn't excited is because their whole business model is predicated on cornering the PC and Xbox market. I will never get excited for an Xbox presentation because I know it's just coming to PC.
Right.
yeah,
That's it. You know, they shot themselves in the foot with how, you know, the wide berth of their releases. And it could be that they just don't. There's not enough Xbox exclusives. You know, like
there's definitely not enough Xbox exclusives.
There's just
Can confirm. Yeah, there's. I remember when the 360 came out, you had like your staples, right? Halo when it was good. You had your Gears of War. You had Alan Wake wasn't exclusive. You had like all these great titles, and then you look at it was really hard to choose between PlayStation and Xbox. And then you know PS4 and Xbox One rolled around, and you still kind of had those titles floating around there. And but PlayStation eventually, in my opinion, won out because they just had, you know, they had God of War, they had Uncharted, they had Last of Us, like all these like amazing storytelling, like exclusive. You can't even play it on PC titles. And now we're getting to the point where I feel like most gamers who can afford it now have a PC. So they don't need an Xbox. And like that includes a whole lot of people that I know. So it's just like,
I mean, everybody on
the
this
point?
show.
yeah. Yeah.
Which is all the people in your life that matter.
Well, 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 smashers.
Sorry, guys. My bad. Coming to you live from my Mac.
But like you look at this and Halo, again, we talked about it. It was actually a previous episode of Bad Catty Funky podcast, but we talked about this and it still just looks dated. Like I think Halo as a franchise, I'm going to be really spicy when I say this, is dated. It does not feel like a current gen title or series or franchise. It just feels like 2001.
Yeah, because I think, you know, like when you're a creator who's making a new Halo, kind of like if you're brought onto like the Star Wars franchise, you're in this finite bucket of like, what can you do? What can you innovate? Well, I can't really change this thing too much because then it won't be Halo. I can't change that too much because it won't be Halo. You know what I mean? Like if they change around like the different kinds of weapons, like the needler or like the pistol. It's just like
I think they
how
can get away with that.
I think they can, but I think they're afraid to, and they're putting themselves in that box of like, I don't think we can go too far out. So it's going to look like the needler. It's going to look like the pit. It's going to act just like it, and the maps are going to look like a Halo ring. So it's like, how far can they go with Halo without it not looking like the IP anymore? You know what I mean? So I think maybe that's why it looks dated.
This is what they need to do. They need to step away from Master Chief. They need to go the ODST or Reach route. And it needs, or preferably ODST, put him in a slum. You have these like really dirty, like not like in a good way, but like just these dirty old guns that feel like guns that we have now that have that visceral feel. And then eventually when you work your way up and you get a needler that just like sticks dudes, you're going to like get that nostalgia. You're going to get that rush because it's going to be a more powerful weapon and it's going to feel a little more in place. Maybe even if you don't want to go that far, update the sound effects. Something, because it's the sounds that date this. The graphics aren't that great, but the sounds are really just like the shield beeping, and it's nostalgic for sure, but it's just dated.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Well, I'm wondering if this demo, because everything we've seen in this demo, we've seen before,
right?
If it's seeing something different and varying the gameplay up a bit. I mean, it's also tough when you have the Halo super iconic armor. They haven't really changed the design too much. They just really upped the fidelity of what the armor looks like.
Right.
But they haven't really pivoted or done anything interesting with that. We're seeing the same thing rehashed over and over again. Even stuff like Call of Duty, even though we get new Call of Duties all the time, but they've branched off and given us different things.
They tried.
Remember that guy with the skull mask?
Right.
Ghost, we love that guy.
Yeah.
And that's I think what Halo kind of needs to do. I mean, that being said, there hasn't been a Halo game in a while, so like people that are Halo fans probably chomping at the bit for more Halo, and that's exactly what they're going to give them. But if they're just playing to their core base and not going for a new audience, it's not going to work out so hot.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of things that aren't working so hot.
No.
Oh man. Something's going on in the realm of Fortnite.
So Fortnite decided that they're gonna put in their battle pass and their in-game currency was gonna go through a in-game payment through in-game payments. So instead of going through the Google Play Store way to purchase things that way, or the App Store, the in-app purchases that way, they're doing their own direct in-game currency purchase.
Yeah,
which
it's because Apple's pushing a 30 up to a 30% levy on any of those purchases, right? They're taxing them 30% when it comes through, and they're like, oh no, like that's fine, we found a loophole, we're putting something else in here, this is what we're doing. And they're going to put their own button where you can just go direct through them and they don't have to pay anything out to them. And Apple's just like, all right, well, you got to change that, so we're pulling you.
And congratulations, you found the loophole. No more. You have no more.
Yeah, that's not going to work for me.
Yeah, it's a big fat no.
So we'll see what happens with it, because now they're kind of fighting on two fronts, both with Google for the Android store and also on Apple as well. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, I don't know how many people are playing it on mobile still, but
I feel like there's a lot of kids playing on mobile.
There a lot of kids. You're right. There is a lot of kids playing it using their parents' credit cards.
Yeah, accidental purchases that like they don't want to tell their parents until it's too late.
$3 million worth of Smurf berries.
Canada.
$3 million.
No, there was a recent event where I think a kid spent like $20,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what Apple had to actually throw in some legal terms saying like, sorry, but like if this happens, like these are the steps that you could take, but you're likely not going to get that money back because like that's your fault. You know? And it is like it truly is like, you know, control your young.
Yeah, I don't think Xander was 20, but it was thousands of dollars. And his parents what is this?
It was a ton of money. Yeah,
it was a lot of money. And also, like, how did the credit card company not like flag this? Because it's a lot. It's a lot that's continually going through. You know what I mean? It's like okay, here's a purchase at the gas station. Here's some groceries. Here's like from this company. This.
And here's $20,000 through his phone.
Yeah,
Okay.
they just keep buying and buying and buying and buying. It's like
you know, Mr. Visa and Captain MasterCard know what that looks like. And when they see all those things go through, like there's that guy, I think of like the new intern being like, should we stop this? And then like MasterCard walks up, puts his hand on his shoulder and goes, no, let it ride.
Let them fight.
Think of the interest, boy, the interest.
Yeah, roll, baby, roll.
So typical though, like what was it? Discover card. I got a Discover card in like 2013 or whatever, and I bought like groceries and gas right a mile away from my house, right? And they called me immediately and they're like, hey, we just want you to let you know that like, you know, we see some suspicious activity and stuff. I'm like, oh, all right, what was it? They're like, it was at, you know, this grocery store and it was at this gas station. I'm like, yeah, it was me. And then literally the very next day I flew to Arizona and bought a phone, and they didn't call me or anything. They're just like, yeah, whatever. Like I just bought a phone straight up, like $700 on that same credit card, and they not a peep. Like they want you to accidentally purchase stuff, I feel like sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
What is awesome though is that Epic came up with a pretty amazing video. I don't know, did anybody see this?
No.
Yeah.
They totally ripped the sledgehammer scene from Apple, that old commercial, and they have somebody running, like they have a Fortnite player, like one of the characters running through, and they do the exact same thing. They spin and they throw that sledgehammer there.
Well, like remember the old Apple ad where it's like Big Brother is watching you, stuff like that.
Yeah,
and like there's a person who came through and through. Yeah, like Fortnite did the exact same thing.
And the talking head that's there is like an Apple head with like part of its head chomped out and everything like that too. Really awesome. I thought it was a good move for Epic to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that or the other most famous sledgehammer scene in cinema history, which is Kathy Bates
Misery?
breaking some legs.
Wow, what a cut, Casey. But
Damn.
like even better, Fortnite is so like feeling itself and it's so on its own vibe that they are currently live replaying that same thing over and over and over.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
over
That's
again.
hilarious.
And they have text that says Epic Games has defied the App Store monopoly. In retaliation, Apple is blocking Fortnite from 1 billion devices. Join the fight to stop 2020 from becoming 1984. And they have this thing
Ooh.
on loop live
Nice.
on all their platforms. Like
That's
they have it
awesome.
currently live on YouTube, and it's just playing that same like ad over and over and over
like,
again.
Also, what did they think was going to happen? Did they really think that they were going to get away with this?
They're
or
probably
is the-
ready for it. They were ready for the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because
Well,
how else
yeah.
would they like they cook up this like 1984
Yeah.
thing? So you know, I mean, they had this ready. They're like, oh, we're gonna get some crap for this, and they're just like, we're Fortnite.
Yeah.
This actually isn't that difficult to make. Watching it, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like if you look at it, it's the animation that you really have to look at, and the post production. All the assets are already built. They're using in-game things.
Oh, of
Oh,
course, yeah. But just to have
Yeah.
it at the ready, I mean, like stuff like this, especially a big company like that, it has to go through like a lot of hands and a lot of OKs
Yeah,
and
true,
stuff
true.
like that. So it's just like I think they had it prepared.
Yeah.
Because they're like, okay, what's the possible outcomes that could happen? Well, Apple's going to do this one, and then Google, and the same thing happened with Google.
Yeah.
With the Google Play Store.
I feel
Usually-
like Google just followed suit. They're like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
too."
Yeah,
Sure.
that's usually what happens too, right? Is that like if a large app store or something like that, if Apple does something, like the other ones are going to be like, yeah, all right, I'll do that, because it'll gain us traction, it'll get us notoriety. Because like, how often do you hear like the Google Play Store, you know, alone by itself, right? Like you don't
Right.
hear the Google Play Store ever dropping anybody, right? They only do it if it's popular. When Apple's like, yeah, we're going to drop this, and
Or
they're
if
like,
the
oh,
creator demands it, like the Flappy Bird guy.
Yeah.
yeah.
right.
That's crazy.
But otherwise, like
Shut
Google
it
Play is
down.
like kind of like the Wild West, right? They're just gonna like allow you to have whatever. Apple dropped a couple of like vaporizer apps at one point, and Google's like, yeah, we're not gonna drop that. It's cool. Like it's not making a big enough thing. But this,
Well,
they're like,
It depends on the
also-
context, though, because this is something over the paths that you take for payment. Like I understand that, so it's not necessarily the content of the app itself. It has to do with the monetization of that.
True.
And if they already have, so if both of these companies have specific requirements of how those payments go through, then if they're able to break one of them, they're going to be able to break both of them in court.
True.
But like stuff happens like this all the time. I feel like since the whole in-app purchases thing dropped, I feel like Apple's been like fending off these lawsuits like crazy.
Mm.
And it is, and we've seen this, like Spotify was having this fight before as well, because their Spotify premium subscription, if you go through Spotify, all that money goes to Spotify. But if you use the in-app purchase on your phone through Apple, then 70 cents of every dollar, 30 cents of every dollar goes to Apple.
Yeah.
For processing that as well. So we've seen this before. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of it, because we may see a shift in the way that kind of digital goods are distributed.
Yeah, there was a lot of digital goods on Twitch recently with the return, Shroud. By God, that was crazy, dude. Like this
The amount
guy.
of hype that
Oh,
got
man.
brought up with this, like he got he put out like what, like a 2-minute video of him just saying, "Mom, I'm coming home," on YouTube, and everybody's like, okay, yeah, he's gonna be coming back, and it like, you know, gave his link to Twitch and everything like that, and then, you know, 480,000 live viewers later, we see Shroud streaming yesterday, and I was like, holy crap, this is amazing.
Yeah. And it was crazy too, because like while he was like getting all of his stuff ready for his stream, you just see like all this like support come in. Like I think he capped out at like 500,000 people who waited for his return. He's like,
So
he's back,
crazy.
baby. So for those who know, Shroud is a great first person shooter gamer, right? He was Twitch was his home for a long time. Then Mixer came in and was just like, I got a deal for you, baby. Hey, here's the Mixer initiative. Dun 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 dun. And he took it because sometimes in these online worlds, he's that man's starting a family, and you're not really sure of what's going to happen. I mean, as popular as you are, you can only make so much money in a certain amount of time, and it fluctuates depending on views, depending on what content he's putting out. And Mixer came along with a contract, like, well, I'm trying to start a family, so let's try to get something stable going on here. And then Mixer was like, ha, GG's, we're going down, pew! So abandoned ship. And he's like, okay, cool. Not gonna make an announcement. What I'm gonna do, and a lot of people were like, oh man, is he gonna go to Facebook Gaming? Probably not. Is he gonna just stream on YouTube like Dr. D? He's gonna come back to Twitch, and he came back to Twitch in huge numbers. It was nuts. Just so much support came out for him, and it was nuts because I enjoy watching his gameplay. This guy just makes moves that I didn't know was possible in certain games like Apex, Valorant. When he played Overwatch for a little bit, Call of Duty, like he'll see things, like he'll see a guy in a bush, like a mile away, snipe this guy in the head. I'm like, how did he see that?
Yeah.
What? And like I'm looking at the same screen he's looking. I'm just like, what? How did he do that? It's insane. He's just really adept. I mean, there's certain guys within our gaming sphere who are just so adept at certain games. It's nuts. You got your speedrunners for platform games, and you got guys really good at FPSs like Shroud. Guys at Dynamo, and people love watching his gameplay,
Yeah.
and he's a nice guy too. Like he's really, really chill, but it was nuts to see like so many people come in, like all the subscription, like Cash App alone donated him 1337 subs.
Wow.
I was like, wow, way to go, Cash App, 137 subs. Nuts.
Wow.
I think he made over like 50K that one stream.
Damn.
Just coming back.
Yeah.
And
And he
got,
just
like,
made 10 million in a night, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
nuts.
choosing not to go to Facebook.
Yeah.
He literally did to Mixer what he does to that guy in the bush on FPS.
Just tracking.
Yeah,
He's
rip,
just like,
That's
I
a
know.
business sniper right there.
rip
Yeah.
Facebook gaming. And I think Ninja is also streaming now on YouTube, right, Jay?
Well, so I don't know. I think it's going to be YouTube eventually, but what was weird today is that I got a notification. I did follow Ninja on Twitch, and I got a notification today, and it was like, oh, he's going to be starting a stream. So I popped it up, was just doing my work and stuff like that, and it was like an 18-minute countdown, and then it jumped into these two commentators and this entire like freaking like battle royale like kind of playoff thing today, and I was like, okay, so it's not actually Ninja who's going to be streaming, and so many people are angry. You saw his stream go from like 150,000 down to like 20,000 immediately.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Just like plummeted, and I was like, but he's launching his brand. It's Team Ninja. Like he's starting to create something.
Wait, is he allowed to do that, like legally?
It's a development company.
Yeah.
No idea, but
Who knows? We'll find out.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So where he's gonna land, I don't know exactly. I still think it might actually be Twitch, but
I
It's,
thought his whole thing now was that he was trying to pivot to like doing movies, and people are like,
Yeah, he's trying to be like a household name, and he kind of already is, right? But he's trying to like he was on like the Ellen show, as problematic as that is right now, and like he was crossing the boundary, whereas he like Shroud is just like, yeah, I play
video games.
and I get paid millions of dollars to do it. Why do I need to be over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Shroud even took a little shot at Dr. D, being like, I don't know what you guys expected when I went live. I'm the kind of guy, I go live, I play shooters, that's it. I'm not going to, like have an intro where I'm in like a Lamborghini shouting at kids and stuff. And I'm just like, wow, interesting shots fired there. But yeah, I personally don't mind like Ninja trying to branch out. I don't think any of us mind either. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, I can see studios trying to be like, all right, he's such a big name. We want to bring in younger people into whatever IPs. You have like some old Hollywood exec, whatever, like, oh, we're young kids, like, we need to bring in, let's got a ninja guy. I don't know, give him some role where he's like, oh, an ice cream scoop. I don't know, do whatever. Give me cash money for a picture spot. Get Ninja in here. Like, there's like a J. Jonah Jameson in Hollywood, like, give me Ninja, get in here. Parker,
Yeah.
get.
No, this is what they're gonna do. This is gonna do. Ninja the movie will just be called Ready Player 2.
No.
Ninja, the movie.
Starring Ninja as Ninja.
Oh my god.
It's so funny how like because he's trying to launch this brand and like do this tournament stuff like that, when he wasn't playing, people were like, what the hell? I don't want to tune into a tournament. I want to see him play. What the hell is this? It's like, Come on, man. The guy's trying to do something. Apparently it was an $80,000 tournament for trios. So 3 people taking away $80K.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not bad.
not bad. Not tuck a change there.
New segment. What's everyone playing this week? So this is something we're going to be pulling out every once in a while, where we're just going to talk about what we've been playing throughout the week, whether it's old, new, whatever. Just, if we recommend it, whatever, all that kind of good stuff. So we're going to start with Chris.
Guys, PlayStation Plus, the yearly thing that you pay for to play multiplayer on your PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, every month they give you 2 free games.
And they better be good, so help me God.
That's right. Or Greg will flip a table, which will be expensive because the one in front of him has lots of computers on it. Anyways, this month they released a title that just dropped. So it's the first time it is available on PlayStation, and it is free for those who have PlayStation Plus. It's called Fall Guys. And the point of this game is it's like a game show, and there are 5 rounds. You play as this almost like pill-looking fluffy dude with short, stubby legs and long arms. And the point of the game is each round. So each of the 5 rounds, there's an objective. Usually, it's getting to the end of some sort of obstacle course. It starts off with 60 people, so it's another kind of Royale-esque, but you're trying to complete an objective as opposed to just trying to eliminate all the other players. It's a little bit more passive than your usual aggressive Royale types. But the movement is like super awkward. There's bright colors.
You're a
There's
big chubby boy.
Fun music. Yeah, basically, what if you put on a mascot? The whole idea is, what if you put on like a sports mascot costume and then did Wipeout? It is
I'm for it.
hella fun. So some of the games are obstacle courses. Some of them are like you're on a team and you have to try to grab as many eggs as you can, or it's a soccer game and you have to try to, as a team, try to score more on the other players. There are doors that won't open, like you have to run through doors and some of them open to get to the end. There are spinning mallets that just knock you across the room. It is so fun, and probably the closest I'm gonna get to Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Nice. Or MXC.
Yeah, most extreme elimination challenge.
Exactly, similar stuff. Not quite like a Ninja Warrior type of deal, but most extreme elimination challenge. It's free. It's on Steam on Steam. It is paid on Steam, I believe. And eventually, once the month is over, I'm assuming there'll be a cost as well.
And I love how the popularity too. Like, this thing has been taking over the gaming sphere by storm. Twitch streamers, YouTubers, everyone's just like, oh, let's get on this thing. And I love how there is some big Twitch streamers who only play battle royales, and that's how their friends sold it to them. They're like, it's like a battle royale. Like, okay, I'll download it. Let's go.
You got me, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, and people are, and I love seeing people who don't normally play games like this, or they play a certain kind of games. Like there are guys I'll watch who only play like Call of Duty. And they're like, I don't want to play that Fall Guy. And then they get into it, and their like faces light up, and there's a grin from ear to ear. And they're like, okay, let's go. I can see how this game. All right, let's do it. And they have so much fun playing this like bright, colorful, cheery game, and it's so much fun to watch. And like, I think if you have a chance to play it, like, please do.
It's quick too. So like, one of the big charms of this, and one of the reasons that like Fortnite it landed so like strongly, is that the turnaround between when you're done with a match and you can start a new one is super fast. Which is great. And each round, so each round's like 2 minutes, and there's about 5 rounds. So you're basically done within 10 to 15 minutes of the entire game, and then it restarts. Obviously, cosmetics get unlocked, like different patterns, different costumes that you can put on your little guy that you run around with, which is a must-have for battle royales.
Yeah.
But lots of fun. Highly recommend it. So that I've been playing a few rounds. Actually, fun fact, someone recommended it to me. I downloaded it. I played. I actually won my very first round, just going in blind, won everything. And I was like, awesome, this game's easy. I'm gonna play again. And to this day, I haven't even come close. The other game I've been playing is Paper Mario: The Origami King.
Hey.
My first time playing a Paper Mario game. It is. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, but it's a big game. Like it's pretty long. I think I looked up that it's like 50 hours or something like that to play.
Nice.
It's a
Jeez.
lot of game.
Yeah. It's a classic RPG style Mario game. It's hilarious. So of
And
course
it's
I love
Mario,
it.
not Mario for you weirdos out there. You know what I'm talking about.
Super Mario.
Yeah,
What, the
it's a me, a
Supreme-
Mario.
The Supreme Mario twins.
Mario, bro. the Mario
They look
brothers.
the same.
It's Mario.
They're so goddamn much the same.
I've been watching somebody let's play Origami King because I have been burned on Paper Mario twice with the past 2 games, and I've been playing them since the N64. So I was very, very hesitant to consider buying this one, and I still haven't. But boy, do I regret it because it is everything: the dialogue, the way it looks, the way it plays, even the battle system, where they still have the sort of like breakable items, but it's a puzzle themed battle system, which is very cool. You have to line up the enemies.
Yeah, so each weapon that you have will hit a certain amount of blocks in a certain order. And the whole idea is that based off the weapon that you have selected, you have to try to line up your enemies on. It's like basically 4 concentric circles that you can spin, and when there is an enemy on that track, they'll spin with it. So you have to try to learn the different patterns of each weapon, and then try to line up the enemies in that pattern and figure out how to beat that puzzle in a certain time limit to maximize the amount of damage that you're doing. Which adds like a whole new level of like urgency to those fights. The boss battles are also pretty good because it takes that same idea, but you're fighting one giant thing and have to figure out, all right, if I move the puzzle pieces, how do I get to the point? How do I get positioned to beat this boss to actually do some sort of damage? And they can take a really long time. I think the last boss I just beat, it probably took me like 45 minutes to beat.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
Mainly
crazy.
because it took me probably like, there was a cycle system that takes like 4 rounds, and each round probably takes like 2 minutes. And it took me probably like 2 cycles of the full, basically 2 times through the boss's 4 cycles before I realized how I could actually damage this thing.
It's very intense.
It is very intense. I love the aesthetic of it. It is giving me Tearaway vibes. I do love Tearaway. If you haven't played that, it's got that fun kind of folded paper kind of feel. But I'm liking it. It's good. Casey, how do you think this stacks up compared to the other ones?
Stacks up. That's good paper.
You got it. As far as what you've seen.
It was. Listen, the original is a classic that's hard to beat. The sequel is the only one that's beaten the original, in my opinion, just because of what they do with the partners, and it plays like a party RPG, but only kinda, because you can only have one teammate with you at a time. Like, if you've never played Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, you owe it to yourself to check it out. There's a reason it was on the GameCube's greatest hits. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not too many of those, really, if you think about it. But whatever. Anyway, I think the dialogue in this game is better than all the other ones, because there's like 1,000 something toads that you save over the course of the game.
oh wow.
And they all
So
have
many
something
toads.
funny to say. Every single one of them.
And they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. And
If you walk into an area and on any given screen, there's probably like 5 or 6 that are hidden somewhere that you've got to find.
And I consistently find myself busting a gut reading their dialogue. But yeah, I'd say it's definitely worth getting. I mean, I'm still tempted to get it, and I've watched somebody play through basically the entire thing.
Yeah, the one big thing about this game as well is, especially the combat, is super tactile, because you do added damage when you hit A at the time that you're landing on an enemy.
Yeah.
So it is definitely a must play through there. Anyways, that's what I'm playing. Casey, what are you playing?
I actually started the original Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, not on the actual Super Nintendo. I should point out I don't own one of those.
On the actual Super Nintendo, you said, wow.
The actual
What?
Super Nintendo.
Just stick to
No.
that.
Yeah, I should have. No,
You still can.
There's Nintendo Online, if you're like me and need it for all of your Animal Crossing trades that go on a daily basis, hell, I should be paid to do these trades. Whatever, who cares? That's not what's important. What's important is you can play a library of Super Nintendo games for the low cost of whatever I pay a month for it. I don't actually know. I should probably check my.
It's $20 a year.
It's $20 a year. That's mere pennies a day.
Nintendo has this guy. He's like, whatever I pay Nintendo,
Yeah.
just take it out of my blood.
Oh, they got me.
You
they
didn't
got
even
me
know.
Yeah.
Hook, line, and sinker, big time. Oh, big time. But the Nintendo Online for Super Nintendo is super great because they've got a ton of classic games that almost make, if you bought the Super Nintendo Classic a while back, almost make that not even worthwhile anymore. And the original Donkey Kong Country is on there, and I'd never played it before, and that game is hard as heck.
You never played it before?
What?
No. I
Oh
never
man.
played it. I've had ample opportunity. I've had the Virtual Console on Wii. I think they may have even re-released it on Game Boy Advance at one time. But I've never really knuckled down and play it because you know me, I'm a completionist. I gotta get the full experience out of every game that I play.
See, I remember like the demo of this game coming. I think it was in like Sears, so department stores used to have like
Yeah.
displays of games like that. I think
Oh,
like
geez.
Sears had it, and
Or like Leechmere.
yeah,
And going to look for pants, and you just wandered over that
yes,
section.
yeah.
And
Whatever
my
my parents were doing, whatever the heck they were doing, they were adult stuff looking for pants and slacks. I'm like, oh, the video game display, so smart, video game display. And I remember seeing Donkey Kong Country, and I was like, what is this? Is crazy. Whoa, what? This is crazy.
Yeah,
And just
the graphics are vaguely 3D.
Yeah.
To trick your stupid kid brain.
oh man, I just remember being so blown away, and it was just like, can we what? And I was like, no, we came here for pents, not for
Dude, that was like, the most stressful thing was barrel launching, right? Like
Oh
going
my
into
God.
one barrel, like flying to another, and been like, I remember just like bending my Super Nintendo controller in half, like just so stressed out and just being like, oh. And my dad's like, dude, that thing was like so expensive. He's like, you got to go like do so many chores to go buy another one now. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, the fun fact about Jason, he's always had giant man-sized hands, even as a youth.
I love how essentially it's a love of memory turned into like childhood trauma. Thanks, Nintendo. Dun-dun-dun.
Awesome.
Speaking of childhood trauma, Jay, what have you been up to?
I have not played a video game in 2 weeks. I've been living the simulation of going to IKEA 3 times a week, getting more
Simulation.
getting more furniture for my apartment and assembling it, and then finding out that a part's broken and I have to go wait in line, and there's 7,000 people in the store each time. So that's my life. It's a weird simulation. I've almost beat it. Final boss is tonight, so
Or
I will
so
not
you
be
think.
streaming. Yeah, who
Secret
knows?
final boss.
Yeah. That's a
Who
trick.
knows?
You never beat it.
It's like a weird, it's
never
like
done.
a weird, realistic, shitty form of Tetris that I'm playing right now. But soon everything will be in order, and I will be happy playing video
Once you
games.
get past the meatball level in IKEA, I think you're pretty much on a straight path.
Well, you guys know I was crushed by meatballs, right? Did I tell you that story?
Excuse me.
Yeah, I worked at IKEA for 5 years, and
What?
I put their food away. Yeah, I put their food away for a long time, and me and my partner who I was working with, we let it sit out for too long because they made us let it sit out for too long. And the boxes of meatballs are so heavy. Each box of meatballs is about 40 pounds, and they made me stack them about 8 high. And I was stacking them in the freezer after everything was like starting to thaw out, and I was bending over, and everything just toppled over and knocked me out, like straight up unconscious in the freezer.
What a way to go.
And even crazier, a man by the name of Dennis, who may or may not be the father-in-law to Mark Zuckerberg, pulled me out of the freezer. He's a coworker, personal friend of mine.
I always love when Jay has the floor. It always takes us to a place.
All roads lead
Yeah,
to
I know.
Zuckerberg.
Oh, bros. like that time we were talking about Food Wars. Like you somehow found like a game where it was like Food Wars, but also like Jewel.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
It's like,
I stopped playing that game. It sucked.
well, you had such an interesting story about how you got there. And I'm like, how do we end up here? I don't know how
If
we
I had
ended up
$1
here.
for every frame of animation that game had, I'd have $2.
Oh man. Speaking of frames of animation that are now broken, I've been playing Warzone, the news season 5 of Call of Duty Flip to Flop. I never thought I'd be so into a Call of Duty game in 2020, and I think it's because they have like when it works, they have a good system, right? Good weapon system, good shooting mechanics. So I'm normally a Battlefield type person, and what does that mean? I feel like Battlefield was always more premium. Like they spent more time with the weapon systems, like even winning awards for like best sound design in gaming, and engineering and stuff like that. And I always like love those games. I felt like they were crafting. Call of Duty was like, oh, let's put a bunch of stuff together and expose them. Here's Michael Bay of the video game. And in this one, it's actually been a lot of fun. But what's been going on is that they released a recent update for the new season, and it kind of broke a lot of things. So on PC, you have it where you pick up a weapon and all the vertices are exploded, so your guns look like big, huge polygons.
Oh, no.
On the screen.
Okay.
And so there are certain times you pick up a weapon and it's just like you can't even use it, and everyone's just like, what's happening?
So it looks like a Kojima game.
Yeah, pretty much with polygons. There are other things like when you die and you're spectating your friend, all you see is a bunch of polygons flashed across the screen, so that's broken too. And it's God, the game, they did make it so unplayable. And there's still cheaters, there's still hackers, multi-billion-dollar franchise, and they needed to get it together. But all that aside, the game is a lot of fun to play with your friends. It's kind of like the Hangout now. Like you just automatically load up.
Is it in its final release, or is it still like an in development, open beta sort of?
It's gonna always be in development. Fortnite just got out of an in development beta.
And the reason why is because the consoles have so much like control over that.
Yeah.
Like they have to have a very specific set of standards to get out of early access, and that will ship.
Yeah. But I think it's an instant release. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
I tried to play Warzone. I downloaded it and it crashed my computer.
I heard that's happened to a couple people.
Yeah,
I was like,
Warzone
cool.
blue screen me too.
I was like, this is amazing. I'm glad I waited overnight for this goddamn 500 gigabyte.
It's so big. It's such a massive file.
It's really
It's
like
ridiculous.
100.
How big it is?
Files.
No, it's like 120, I think.
It's close to like 200 gigs now.
Oh, isn't that?
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, like this new season update for it was about 50 some gigs.
It's so stupid.
So you
Yeah.
need a separate
So
hard
Update
drive
was 50 gigs?
for just that.
Yeah, the update.
Yeah.
The update
Yeah,
was 50 gigs.
And it
It's
broke?
dumb.
God.
It's dumb.
Yeah, and it broke.
Yep. Good job, guys. So
Yeah.
I've been actually playing a real like high res themed, let's say, lineup. I've been playing off stream Rogue Company.
Yeah.
The kind folks at high res were nice enough to give me like I don't want to call it was the $15 tier battle whatever, so I can get all the characters unlocked and stuff like that, so I can play it. So I was playing that a bit yesterday and today. It is a third-person, over-the-shoulder tactical shooter, kind of like CS:GO, or what I imagine CS:GO to be if I ever played CS:GO. It's a lot of fun though. I've been really enjoying it. Each character kind of has their own abilities, kind of like Overwatch. You have kind of different loadouts you can get. You kind of drop in, kind of like a battle royale, but it's definitely not a battle royale. It's been good. I've been really digging it.
Royale, you guys.
It's like that's the only thing that it really has in common, because it's definitely like I think it's like a 4v4 or 5v5. It's like very like easy to get in a match. It's been fun. I've even found my character, so I think, and then I lost with her a lot, so maybe not, but still, it's been a very good time. Much to my surprise, I went in kind of having like a weird attitude about it. Whenever a game is like, oh, you can flip the shoulder if you want the view, and I'm like, oh, this is too much.
That's too much for when you're coming around a corner and you need to flip it over.
Too much.
I'm not ready for that kind of camera commitment.
I'm
in
not.
my
I don't.
life
I
right
don't
now.
like that. I just want to go through. I don't got time for this. But it's been fun. It's got a nice style to it. Visually, the environments are kind of cool. It's just fun. When you mess up, you know you messed up. Essentially, there's been very few times where I've been like, "Where do you come from?" Like I can see them. The environments aren't that large.
It is very stylistic, and I've seen some really
Yeah.
interesting plays from some streamers who've been making it their main game. It looks like a lot of. I was thinking of picking it up too. It looks really interesting.
Yeah, well, I think it's free to download right now on
Yeah.
Epic, but if you want to get the extra characters, you got to shell at least 15 bones, which I think is fine. Like it's for, I think I put in like maybe, I want to say 10 hours so far, and it's been solid. It's one of those very easy, they're quick matches. They're probably no more than 10 or 15 minutes. I haven't really timed them, but that's kind of what it feels like. And It's that what that kind of gives you is that, oh, well, just one more. Oh, just one more. Oh, just one more. Then all of a sudden it's 15 more. And
It's 5
it's
a.m.
3:00 in the morning.
Yeah. It's like one of those games where it's like, I can't go out on a win, can't go out on a loss. I have to
Right.
keep playing.
Right.
Gotta keep playing.
They do have the weekly or daily challenges. They do have skins that are you can eventually unlock. They have a whole bunch of stuff that looks like it's in the works. It's just each character feels good. The weapons feel pretty solid. The shotguns are just disappointing. I will say that I did not enjoy the shotguns.
Greg likes a
like,
good shotgun.
I love a good shotgun, but it's very similar to like the Gears of War shotguns, where you feel like you should do more damage, but you have to it's almost a melee weapon at that point. So I've been really digging the SMGs and the assault rifles. Those have been really cool. The
So many
DMRs,
guns.
not so much. I don't like those.
The
But I never like
DMRs?
those.
Thank you.
I never like those. The other game I've been playing, I've been playing more Smite. Now everyone knows that I've been playing this for a little bit because they released the mid-season update, which includes Avatar: The Last Airbender skins. So I bought the battle pass like an idiot, and it didn't unlock everything because they know they have me. They know they already have my money. So I am 5 levels away from unlocking Aang, which is the last skin on this tier of the battle pass.
Wow.
So I've been doing this grind just to get at least Aang, because after that you have to play, I think, another 20 battle point levels, whatever they're called, to get Blue Spirit. After Blue Spirit, I'm done. I don't care about getting Avatar State Korra or Avatar State Aang. I just want the Blue Spirit, and I can run around and be the Blue Spirit, and that's amazing. But I've been doing I've been playing the arena mode, which is not the League of Legends mode. So I've been having a really good time on there because no one really cares if they win or lose, because we're just there to have a good time. It's not people going like, you're supposed to be left lane, idiot. And it's like, but I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm having fun.
I watched all the
No,
videos
that's
and I
fun.
still don't know what I'm doing. So sorry.
Yeah, I was looking to get into that too, but when I saw that, like, you can't just unlock them, just because I just want to be
Yeah.
able to unlock them and play them, and that's how I want to play Smite. I don't want to have to go
Yeah.
through not playing them and earning them. I'm like, wait a minute, but if I'm a new player, I just want to.
Well, to be fair, you get Zuko and Korra just for getting the battle pass.
Oh, okay.
You get them, period. Like, that's just because
neat.
when you buy the battle pass, you advance just like a whole crap ton of tiers. I think it's like 20 tiers or something stupid like that. Like, yeah, here, thanks for the money. Here you go. And now I've just been on this grind. I thought it was 50 for the longest time. And I think even on like Avatar the podcast, it's like, oh yeah, it's only 50. I'm almost there. Then I got to 50 and I was like, where is it? Then I looked at it again and I was like, no,
Oh.
it's 60.
They moved
I
the needle on
hate
you.
They did. They saw it. The Matrix did it on me,
Take
and
it,
it was
bumping
not
those
great.
goalposts just a little bit.
But it has been fun. It has been a good experience. After this, I'll probably be done with it for a while, just so I can sink my teeth into some different games, maybe some smaller indie ones. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of high res games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about this about this Avatar Smite game is something that the creators actually stuck around for. Unlike the Netflix thing, it's been happening. Oh my god! Yikes!
Yeah.
Big
We
fiasco.
can't talk about
there.
that though. That's a different show.
Anyway. Well, everyone, that's all the time we have for this episode of the Button Smosh podcast. Tonight, we talked about CyberPunk 2077, the latest and greatest in gaming news, including the Xbox Series S, the snafu that was happening with Halo Infinite, and the games that we have been playing. Tune in each and every week, Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, for all the gaming news and updates. Make sure to watch us live on twitch.tv/WeAreRogueMatter, as Button Smash is part of the Rogue Matter Network. Download a podcast wherever you can listen to a podcast, and we will see you guys later, or we will see you another time.